I practiced on it for about a week before I actually smoked it. Um, and like by a week, I'm talking about like 1 minute a day, like for about 5 days in a row, just bubbling it because it was just fun. I had a new toy, and my first bong was a cheap ass, like a $25 glass bong, like a beaker bong, with a green lip on both the stem portion that holds the bowl and the mouthpiece. I didn't videotape that session, unfortunately, because I hadn't really even thought about doing a YouTube channel or a WeTube channel. I was familiar with WeTube, had been for several months, and I, of course, big fan of YouTube ever since the launch. And uh, it's just I never thought about doing a channel for even YouTube because I never had anything that I thought anyone would be interested in hearing about or whatever. But when I realized the many famous people I've met and the amazing stories I have a lot of amazing stories which I would love to share someday. I mean, from having dinner with Paula Abdul to DJing Shaquille O'Neal's birthday party to DJing Cal Worthington's birthday party to um, um, meeting Prince for 3 seconds in the hallway following one of his concerts at the Cow Palace in San Francisco as he zipped by and didn't talk to anybody, man. All the radio people that were there to, with our contestants, our contest winners that were going to get to meet Prince, and he flaked on us, man. We were so freaking bummed. And the show was amazing. I just know it was a great show, but Prince wasn't happy. He thought he did terrible. I mean, it's like you're always your worst own critic, and and I can relate. I've never been in the spotlight really. I used to work in radio for a couple of years back in the 80s and 90s, Sacramento area. I worked for Quad 106 for several years, and then I had a more serious role at a station called 97 Croy, which I helped actually take that station from not even in the top 10 as far as ratings go to being number one as a music station. We were only beat by KFBK, the news talk station at the time, which they never fell out of number one for like for forever. And I don't know if that's still the case anymore. It's like they're a Clear Channel now iHeart owned company. There's been just a lot of ugliness in the radio industry because of that company in particular. And I worked for that company for 10 years. And I was thrilled to be an employee of that company. And there was a lot of great things about working for that company. But at the same time, there was just really like just a lot of bad things. And one of the bad things is that they're just way too far right wing, just too far right minded in every aspect of how they do business. And that's what led to them, basically ruining the radio industry by dominating it so powerfully and being in control of so much of it, and also being in control of the concert industry because they also owned Live Nation or whatever the name of that company was. And they still, I think they still own it, and they own their Billboard company, and very powerful media, presence for sure. And then with figures such as Rush Limbaugh, and um, God, who are those other guys? Sean Hannity, and I don't even want to think of their names or talk about them because I swear they infuriate me. I hate talking about politics, you know, but I'm going to talk about it a little right now because politics divides people, and it's supposed to, and that's the purpose of politics in a way. It's just a tiny little piece of the puzzle that the oligarchs have introduced to our lives, going back centuries, back when we're talking royalty, kings and queens, and the commoners, us people, us 99%, us peasants, you know, they allow us to chase dreams, just so we're distracted enough not to go after the real enemies, which is them, the evil one top 1% of the top 1%, you know, except for a few that actually do donate to charity and do care about the environment. So there are exceptions. So my hatred of the oligarch system is of the system and not of any particulars that are involved in it. But generally speaking, I still think that the average oligarch needs to understand that you are screwing this planet over with your greed. You are hurting this planet. You are hurting society. You are hurting all creatures on this planet. You are hurting the environment. You are killing what could be a paradise. Within 20 years, this planet could be a vibrant paradise, literally. And I do mean that literally. It could be a vibrant paradise, like almost like movies can barely imagine how beautiful this planet could be if you guys just gave up. I don't know roughly how much, what kind of percentage, 25%, 25 to 30%. If you just said, okay, I'm willing to sacrifice 25 to 30% of what I've been getting, for my entire life, and my family's been getting for generations and generations, and for future generations, the same thing would apply. But you make a sacrifice with the direct intent of helping the planet, and that money would go to fund an amazing new concept. And of course, the government would work with you, and the government would do many things to allow your wealth to continue to grow, while at the same time allowing this planet to grow, to flourish, to be re-nurtured by the people that have been destroying it for way more than a century, but especially the last 1 century, the century of destruction